I call to order the third session of the 133rd Convention of the Maryland State Firefighters Association. We'll have a brief safety note from the Chairman of the Safety Committee, John David Black.
Good morning, everyone. I can actually see the people this morning. Yesterday was pretty quiet in the safety world here at the convention center. I only had one incident that I want to discuss with everyone today, and it probably doesn't apply to those of you that are sitting in the room at the moment, but if you have kids running around, do me a favor. If they're around the apparatus, please mind them. I saw a young male, probably about 5 or 6 years old, halfway up the back of one of the rescue trucks yesterday, climbing up the ladder, and their parent or guardian was nowhere around. We don't need them falling off apparatus. So I went and spoke with that vendor, and they just flipped the ladder up, and we engineered the issue out. But be mindful of the kids that are running around. Make sure that they're not where they're supposed to be. Other than that, we're going to go to the weather real quick. It's supposed to be warmer today than yesterday, but we're not going to talk about the moisture that falls out of the sky because it didn't happen yesterday because the weatherman never tells me the truth. So if you're from Delmarva, you know the weather can change in 10 minutes' time. So just keep an eye on the sky, and if it gets dark, you know you might get wet. Lastly, I'm going to go into the second day of the National Firefighter Stand Down. It's called Reset. Today is Educate. So we're going to play that video, and then that will be my message for today. And if anybody needs to speak with me, I will be back here with the Merlins if anyone has a safety issue needs to address with me. Thank you. Thank you for watching this and paying attention to it. You'll have a great day. If you have any questions about the behavioral health issues, we have plenty of resources down at the safety booth. Just come see us, and we'll get you in the right direction. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce Chief Chaplain John Long for the invocation. Chaplain?
Before we pray, I have an important announcement. The prayer breakfast tomorrow morning is at the Elks Lodge at 13701 Sing-Tuxin Avenue. So don't go to the American Legion, go to the Elks Club. Please join me in prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for this wonderful day, Father. We thank you for this opportunity to recognize those who have worked diligently to serve their communities. Father, we praise you for all the award recipients, for the hard work and dedication. We thank you, Father, for those who have taken the time to submit their members for these awards. Father, continue to be with us today and let the message the speaker brings this morning sound resilient sound in our ears. We ask this all in your name. Amen.
Now Chief Robert Phillips will give the legislative report and present the award.
Good morning, all. For those of you that don't know, my name is Chief Robert Phillips. I am the Legislative Chair for the MSFA, and very proudly I represent all of you and the fire service in Annapolis during the legislative season. I did file a report. It's in your convention books when you are so inclined to read. It's on page 41 if you get that far. And it's full of different information about what we do during the year and what has taken place this past year. I just want to hit on a couple of the highlights so y'all don't fall asleep first thing in the morning. Our agenda this past year started out with three things: money, money, money. The fire service needs financial support, and that's what we went to Annapolis to ask for. Starting in August of last year, we started getting answers. No, no, no. We don't have any money, don't ask for any money, don't expect to get any money, and they told me the truth from the very beginning. But, like I told everyone I spoke for, on behalf of the fire service, if I don't keep asking, you're going to forget about us. And they didn't always laugh, but they got the idea. In addition to last year's agenda that we started off with, I would have to say that from everything we did, the big takeaway on behalf of the fire service was we got some more health benefits for the fire service. We've talked about all the things that what we do does to us. Mental health is a big thing. Physical health is a big thing. Last year, we made some strides going forward. We've been asking for yearly cancer screenings. Last year, we had 2 bills we worked on diligently with other sponsors and whatnot to get these passed. One of them was the James Jimmy Malone bill. That would have been House Bill 459, Senate Bill 374. This bill, as it was written, in the honor of James Jimmy Malone, who was a member of this legislative committee for many years, representing the MSFA, secured from counties that have a paid fire department, paid emergency services, if they had their own, if they were self-funded for their health plans. They're mandated now to have yearly screenings for their firefighters. These are to be made available at no extra cost to the individual. And this is a good thing. This is a step forward, something we've been asking for. The second part of that bill was it's also going to include a 2-year study, FY26, FY27. And it's going to study how many people were eligible for health screenings, how many people took them, what was found, and how much of it. And not just cancers, but other health issues that can be a result of what we do as firefighters, as EMS and rescue people. And this study is going to be Marylanders. It's not going to be a nationwide study that includes somebody from, just picking a state, Minnesota or Colorado. Marylanders. This is going to give us some very, very valuable information as to what we're doing, where we're doing it. And this is going to help us in the future. The other bill that was passed was a funding bill for cancer screenings. And this put it in that the governor's budget can include money for funding annual cancer screenings. It'll be handled through the Maryland Department of Health. They have committed to working with the fire service associations to make sure that in our particular case, our volunteers get the information they need, their fire companies, their county associations, to obtain grants for these annual cancer screenings. This is a big win. You know, we didn't get our money, but maybe we got something that's going to keep our members healthier, longer, and prevent a whole lot of other things from happening. Those are the big takeaways. This past session was a fairly busy session. We had 1,047 Senate bills. We had 1,558 House bills. That's a total of 2,600 plus bills that we had to take a look at every day. We go through the bills, we see what's coming out. We're trying to find out how it's going to affect positively or negatively the fire rescue EMS services in the state of Maryland. Of those, we followed, of the 2,600, we followed 135 on a daily basis. And we had 58 of those that we worked on diligently that went to the governor for signature. Of the 58 that we worked on, we directly gave testimony, we sat in front of hearings, and we talked to members directly about these bills. We had 38 bills that we were interacting on a daily basis. A normal week for 17 State Circle, our office up there we're in the office 5 days a week. We're in there anywhere from 7 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Every Thursday morning we have a meeting, and out of that meeting comes a bulletin that goes statewide. And not just to fire service personnel, it goes to senators, delegates, it goes to the governor's office, it goes statewide. It's a wealth of information of what's going on in Annapolis. Excuse me, very sorry. From that bulletin that we put out, on Friday mornings there is a meeting that's held between the Fire Marshal's office and the MSFA, and we cover statewide. We got people from every jurisdiction, all the counties and whatnot across the state. What is coming up legislatively for the fire, EMS, and rescue services? And then every Monday morning, or every Monday afternoon, we also co-chair the Fire EMS Coalition. And then we're meeting with other senators and delegates, informing them of what's going on and supporting through the coalition different pieces of legislature that we feel we need to have some extra push on. Last year we had, out of the 90-day session, that includes Saturdays and Sundays, we had 182 days of in-office service. We averaged 2.5 people per day, Monday through Friday while in session. There were 1,277 office hours, 17,900 miles driven by the members of your legislative committee taking care of legislative work. It's a lot of work, but there's not one person comes in there that's not proud to do what we do. And we do it for everybody sitting out here and everybody you represent. That's the important thing. Our weekly office staff, as I like to call them, we've got several people come in 1 or 2 days a week, every week. Dale Bowen, he comes in. Bill Faust. Teresa Chrisman, the vice chair of the legislative committee. This woman puts together that bulletin diligently. She tracks all of the bond bills and a lot of things like that. It's an everyday task. Joel McCrae. We also have the ladies auxiliary come in. LAMSFA have got a team that comes in to work with us. This past year we had Marion Nicholson, Rosa Mayer, Terry Hayden, and Barb McCrae. They came in every day. They went and got the bills that had come down. They take the old bills out, put the new bills in. They keep everything up to date, and they go through the bills one more time after we've gone through them in the back room to make sure that something hasn't been missed. Everybody has a part in this, and everybody does their part, diligently working. In addition to the people that are in there every day, we've got a support group that are there every time something else is needed. Past President Eric Smothers, our Executive Director Kate Lovelace, Harvin Laura Wood, Randy Smith. They're not in there every week, every day, but there's not one time the phone rings or a text message goes out or an email gets sent that they're not answering up. What do you need and where do you need it? It's just an ongoing group. This past year, 1 or 2 of the members couldn't make it in. We had other people come in and join us just to cover the desk. We had, let me think for a second. I'm trying to think. I've lost a name. Don't worry about that. It comes with age. Kathy Tracy. I still can't think of the other lady's name, and I have to apologize for that. But anyhow, they came in and worked with us just to make sure everything was going the way it should. One of our members is not coming back next year due to some other conflicts. We've already had someone step up and take that place so they can come in and join us. So it's an ongoing thing. It really is a great operation. I would like to ask any of the members that I've got here, sitting down here to my right, thank goodness, members of the staff, if they would please come on up. I see Kathy, Rosa Mayer, let me see, our recipient of our Legislator of the Year award is down there. I can't see who's sitting on the very end. But if the members of the committee would come up, Dale Bowen, he'll be up in a minute, Bill Fouts, Teresa Chrisman, Joel McCrae, Marion Nicholson, Rosa Mayer, Terry Hayden will not be here today, and Barb McCrae. If they could join me up here, please. Anybody else from the committee? Yeah, I see Vice President coming up. Harv and Laura Wood are coming up. Is past President Smothers here? Yes, I see him smiling coming down the middle aisle there. Thank you. Oh, and Laura has got an escort today. That will be Joe Chornock. Each year during legislative session, we work with a lot of the members of the General Assembly. We work with senators and delegates, and they work with us. We're constantly calling them, and time to time they call us and ask us about bills. Each year, we take a look back at who has been outstanding at helping us. Maybe not just that year, but over a culmination of years in time. And at the end of the year, we discuss it. We have a legislator of the year. We pick specifically a person from the House of Delegates and the Senate. This year, on behalf of the Legislative Committee of the MSFA, I'd like to announce Senator John D. Jack Bailey to be the recipient as the Senate Legislative of the Year. Gentlemen, if you please bring the senator up. Is the president back there now? He would come out. Please, sir. Thank you. Also, on the delegate side, on the House side, we had Delegate Ann Kaiser. I do not believe she's in attendance today. I'm very sorry. Her plaque will be given to her, presented to her back in Annapolis at her office. At this time, if two of my members, Mr. Randy Smith, Mr. Dale Bowen, and the president here, if you could step right over here, sir, please. Senator Jack Bailey. Thank you very much for all the service. There's never a time when we are in a hearing over in the State House that meeting this gentleman here, he is not asking what can be done for the fire service. And I can tell you this past year during a hearing, we only have a limited amount of time that we can speak. This senator asked the appropriate question at the appropriate time, and the information that was given out was very, very important. Just couldn't get it out any other way. Thank you, Senator. Yes, sir. Please do. I'll take care of your plaque for you.
Good morning. I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be able to be here and be recognized by a bunch of the heroes and their families that take care of our communities every day. I have the privilege of representing, and I see them back there, a bunch of people from Southern Maryland. But as many people know, I worked as a policeman for 30 years, so I got to work all over the whole state, so it is my honor to represent each and every one of you and your stations and each one of your local communities. It is important that we work very diligently together for our communities here in Maryland. I just wanted to give a shout out to your legislative committee and to know that every day when you're out there working and you're taking care of things at home, that there's people up there that are giving us updates.
and telling us what you need. And that's so important to us because we're not mind readers. We can only do and act on what we know is actually happening. So please stay engaged with your legislative committee, because they stay engaged with us. And what we're able to do and what we're able to work on is a result of the hard work, people like Bob and your whole staff that's standing up here. And we appreciate all of them. And by the way, even like this year when we had a little bit of snow, remember coming around the corner in the morning, walking up, and there they were standing there ready to greet us. So I appreciate everything, and I want to say, getting an award like this from people that I consider heroes, very special to me. It'll hang in my office, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate you coming down. The name I couldn't remember was Joan Kramer. She helped us out a lot.
I'd like to announce our next speaker, Christopher Hyde. He currently serves as the first Deputy Chief for Rockville Fire Department. He holds the designation of Chief 703B. We got a couple of pages of stuff here for you, but in the course of his presentation, he'll cover all of it. Chief, you're on.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today at the 133rd Convention of the Maryland State Firefighters Association, and most importantly, thank you for coming to listen to this important topic that I'm going to speak on here momentarily. This program is called Saving the Volunteer Fire Department. It gathered its name from a webinar that I did with Chief Bobby Halton from Fire Engineering, and it gained some traction from there. He asked me to present at FDIC, which I did in 2019. Really incredible time that I had there, and looking forward to presenting to you folks today. Do we have the slide deck? So as we get started here, your volunteer fire department, they're all different, and we recognize that. Yesterday, I presented to a classroom session. I'm going to condense about 2 hours worth of material into this 30 or 45-minute window that I've been given today. So, again, we recognize that everybody's department is different. I hope that you can take something back from this today. It's all about information sharing, right? And I look forward to having conversations with any of you if you want to reach out. Anything that we can do to share information to make each other better. So here's a little bit about where I come from. The Rockville Volunteer Fire Department today has over 350 members. 225 of those are active service providers and qualified to get on and off fire trucks and ambulances in Montgomery County. And we've been serving the community for just over 100 years. A little bit about why I thought it was important enough to stand in front of you today is my father joined the Rockville Volunteer Fire Department in 1974, rose to the rank of fire chief, later became the division chief of volunteer services in Montgomery County, and championed the cause of the volunteer fire service. It was really important to him that we work together to come up with innovative ideas, to support the smallest department in anything that we could do to make them more successful. A little bit about me. As you can tell, I think pictures mean 1,000 words, so rather than having a bunch of bullet points, that's a little bit about who I am on the screen. I started at Rockville in 2002. I'm now the first deputy chief. I work for the District of Columbia Fire Department, where I'm a sergeant, and I drive the 5th Battalion Aide. I'm really fortunate to drive a guy named Mike Walko, who used to be the chief of Bryan's Road. I have some previous experience being a member at West Lanham Hills in Prince George's County, also at the Kensington and Laytonsville District Volunteer Fire Departments in Montgomery County. I'm very passionate about the volunteer fire service and really enjoy my time with my friends in the fire service, which is what carried me to some of those places. More importantly, I married my wife in 2014. She was a member of Rockville. That's where we met. Her brother is now a member of Rockville. That's him up in the top right-hand corner with me in our sister city in Germany. And it's a family affair, right? I'm a third-generation volunteer. Let's talk a little bit about perception versus reality. Oh, we're missing our audio. See if we can go backwards.
Do you need my shirt? God, I hate firefighters.
So we missed some of the clip there, but what you're seeing is a fire truck with one of our members driving with no shirt on. He hollers out the window, going swimming. You can imagine what the reaction to the internet was. Look at Rockville making a TikTok video. How bad is this? The volunteer firefighter would never leave home without his fire department t-shirt. There were a lot of really hateful comments out there. What people don't know is that day, our crews with several of our volunteer members were at the Rockville Swim Center doing a water rescue drill. Some civilian's car was blocked in. Scott Cushing went to move the ladder truck as the only qualified truck driver there. He was already in the swimming pool. Another crew arrived, and he was making a joke out the window to them, and unbeknownst to him, somebody was videotaping him. Let's talk about who that guy really is. He's one of a handful of people in our volunteer fire department that can drive everything in the firehouse. Was a live-in member, went to lots of fires, went on to work for the Baltimore City Fire Department. That's him on the right-hand side there, getting ready to do what they do best every day. And he's currently the pumper operator at Engine 33. So you can imagine the amount of fire service experience that young man has. So, what are the facts? The things we hear about all the time. I'm going to blip through these slides because everybody's heard them. The number of volunteers in the fire service. Volunteer firefighters are the largest majority of firefighters in the United States. Numbers are kind of all over the place with how volunteer firefighters are in terms of our numbers of people participating. And then there's these really detrimental headlines that keep coming up, and there's a lot of them. And then we end up with headlines in things like fire service publications, talking about that stuff. And there's a lot of resources out there to try and combat these things. And I've been to some of those programs, and some of them are really good. Some of them are repeating a dry message. The reality is your volunteer fire department doesn't have to be that dwindling, dead fire service. This is a picture of several places in the Mid-Atlantic region, one place in Long Island. Lots of participation is still out there. It's a matter of how you harness it. What's missing? For me, recruitment, staffing, again, that's talked about a lot. Leadership, training, we're in the state of Maryland. We have like the most training there is available to us. It's great. Incentives, the state of Maryland has an enormous amount of incentives for our folks. I think the last three are pretty big. Structure, attitude, which leads to retention, but that's fueled back by the things at the top, right? Leadership. So, our structure and communication, right? It's important, it's paramount that we set the stage and we manage our expectation for our volunteers, that we let them know what's coming down the road. We've heard so many times at Rockville that it feels like you moved the goalpost on us. You change things, right? So we do everything we can to try and lay that out so that people know what's coming. That starts to become the norm. We start that at our intake process. So as we vote people in or they apply, we encourage them to do a ride-along. They meet our volunteers. They start to hear directly from the source what it means to be a member of the Rockville Volunteer Fire Department. We have an informational session. We define the process for them. We communicate the expectations and reality early. There's a little bit of sugarcoating, right? You want to get the people in the door. You want to give them that sweet taste. But we're open and upfront about the amount of standby hours they have to do, the training that it takes to be a volunteer firefighter or EMT. When they go to apply, we make it easy for them. It's an online application. We've been doing that for a while, and we've removed barriers, right? There's no fees. We try to make it as open as possible. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. Our application includes a lot of stuff, references, job history. If you don't fill out the application the way it says you're supposed to and you don't read the directions, if there's something missing from one of your references, the application goes in the trash. We don't even review it. Every time we go to process applications, we're getting anywhere from 30 to 100 applications, and we're doing very little recruitment. I recognize that our area and our locality makes that much different for some people in the room, but you're working with pools of people. You have to find the people that want to be there. We build on that structure as we continue. We have a basic orientation program. This is a picture of Kensington hosting theirs. They do something similar. Montgomery County, as an association, also does a basic orientation program for some of the departments that don't have the bandwidth to be able to handle it for the smaller number of members that they take in. But for a place like us in Kensington, we're taking in a large enough amount of people that we can host it ourselves. But again, we're continuing to build on that momentum of this is what the expectations are. We're training them in-house. It gives us another checkpoint to say, did they pass CPR? Did they pass the ambulance inventory test, right? If they don't pass those within a certain time frame, again, those people are moved on. We are trying to do quality over quantity as much as we can. They have a probationary packet, which again sets the stage for success. It gives them a number of things to do throughout their probationary period, and a lot of that is self-motivated, right? The goal is to create an asset and not a burden. This builds into succession planning in our organization. It's really important that we build on that momentum that we've already started with them. So we have a guidance counselor approach to how we get people in for classes. The people in charge of training actually work with folks to sign them up for an EMT class or a fire class. As soon as that's done, they're asked, hey, you just finished EMT. You're a charge EMT now. What EVOC class can I get you in? Can you take a look at this? And we move those people through the process so that they keep that momentum going and they start to feel worthy in the organization, right? We actually changed our intake process at one point because we recognized when you voted people into the department in January, April, July, and October, that was not aligned with the MIFRE classes or the Montgomery County Training Academy classes. So there would be a great delay in somebody joining and them actually sitting in the classroom for their first day of class, for a real class. And so you have this long period of time where people can't do anything for you and they start to fizzle out, right? You lose that momentum. So again, that succession planning is a tailored approach. We look at the things and the attributes of the individuals and we work to try and get them in classes and move them through the process. That builds into our leadership, right? We're able to identify early people that are going to be good as officers in the organization. We move into doing chief officer training and preparing for what Montgomery County has very heavy requirements for us to be a command officer. Every year, any of our operational command officers have to do a command competency evaluation where it's an evaluation of your peers, and it is a pass-fail test. If you don't pass the test, you can drive your car, but you're not going to turn the lights and sirens on and go to a call. So we're always evolving in this process as well. We're taking a look right now at some of the performance objectives, things that we have for the testing processes for our minimum staffing folks. What we've heard is, some people are weary with like a pencil whipped check off, and they want more of a structured evaluation. People want to know what the target is. The members want to know, what do I have to do to be a lieutenant? What do I have to do to be an engine driver? And so we're better defining those processes for them. This is the meat and potatoes, right? This is why I think Rockville is probably as successful as it is today, is our standby program. And we're not the only ones with a standby program, right? They're prominent all over our area. They do the most important thing for us. They guarantee service to the citizen. When someone calls 911, they want a fire truck and an ambulance to show up, and most people throughout the entire United States of America have no idea whether you're a career or volunteer. That maybe is a separate problem that we have to address, and that's advertising ourselves, selling our product, and who we are as volunteers. But to the standby program, people have to show up, they have to be there, fire trucks and ambulances have to hit the street. This doesn't mean somebody's not a volunteer. I hear often, I don't want to have to tell my member, you have to be here. They're a volunteer. You're still a volunteer. We're just organizing your service in a way that it's meaningful to the community. The best part about it, as I've spoken to lots of people across the country and internationally, is that this is scalable and approachable. So I'll start with what a lot of people are doing where I'm from, and this is a picture of Wheaton's, one of Wheaton's night crews. The duty crew, they're there every night and on the weekends because Montgomery County during the day has career staffing. And again, I recognize that that's different in some of your jurisdictions, and we'll get to some ways that we can solve that. What this does is it provides instant response like we talked about. These crews come together and it builds camaraderie. They're together, they become their own families. Sometimes that's almost, can be a detriment too, because we have created, at least we see in our organization, people are a member of the Tuesday night crew and they don't want to go ride on Wednesday because they're different, or they feel like they wouldn't be welcome. So again, that's one of those things that we're constantly evolving, constantly evaluating, and we're working on ways to reduce those barriers. Training benefits of the night crew. Almost every night of the week, these folks are engaged in some sort of training, whether it's a formal drill where they're going outside and pulling hand lines, or they've gotten units on a detail to do something larger, down to just reviewing protocols, tabletop discussions. They're always talking to one another, they're doing things, they're moving themselves forward. It also is going to ensure that the folks get potentially a higher level of call volume experience, and it's our way to combat the high call volume that we experience in Montgomery County. So here's one of our scalable approaches, right? Talking to folks that I taught with in West Virginia. Ridgely Volunteer Fire Department is just over the river from Cumberland, and they had a really interesting approach to ensuring service when I spoke to them one time. They don't have a bunk room in their firehouse, but they're the most staffed, most active volunteer fire department in Mineral County, West Virginia. What they've done is they developed a system where when the pager goes off, the house siren blows, they know these 5 people are going to show up tonight and they're going to get the fire truck or the ambulance on the street. And if anybody else comes extra, that's great. They can get the second piece out, they can do whatever, but they have people that they know are going to show up when the pager goes off. So they still have sign of a standby program, right? They're doing the most important thing. They're guaranteeing service to their citizens. Here's a little bit of a hybrid method. That's a picture from our sister city fire department in Pinneberg, Germany, near Hamburg. We've had an incredible partnership with them for over 30 years now. They have apartments in their firehouse. Their firehouse has 4 apartments that people live in. It's a lottery system, and these are nice apartments. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, raise your family, like, it's really nice. What they work for is they have these on-call periods for the people who live in the apartments. And so when their pagers go off, that person who's on call that lives in the firehouse is responsible to be the primary driver. They're also the person that helps open up the company, because their firehouse is locked. I mean, it's immaculate. You could eat off the apparatus floor. They don't go in the firehouse unless there's a purpose to be there, which is kind of interesting. But they do a number of events that keep their volunteers engaged. So when that person brings everybody in, they get the first piece out, more people are coming from home. Again, they have that program like Ridgely where they know these people are on duty tonight. So they guarantee that first piece out the door, and then more people are coming from home. When they have a building fire like that one that I was present for, they're usually getting 2 engines, the ladder truck from their main station, an engine from their second station, pretty quickly. And it is a scene from like 1950 with them riding their bicycles and running and pulling up on the front ramp. Another thing that I think is a valid approach and something that we're talking about now in Montgomery County as we're working with some things is a partial duty night. So you as leaders in your organization or in your county should be able to recognize when your busy times are. Maybe you don't need people to sleep in the firehouse every night. Come up with a system that ensures that people are in the firehouse during the busiest times, and then have that accountability come from home system afterwards. Those are some other ways to structure that program. And there's a lot that goes into that. I recognize that some folks are providing daytime staffing, and there are no career personnel. So again, it takes organization, it takes structure. You can go to a scheduling software system. You can get Google platform for free or discounted as a nonprofit organization, and you could manage your scheduling through a live Google document spreadsheet that your members can view and certain officers can edit. You can survey your members, see who's available during the day that you know you can rely on to get things out during the day, have a different set of group of people at night. If you have less and less people, and that was some things we talked about in the classroom yesterday, I only have so many people, it gets tougher, and I recognize that. But the conversation that I had, and I think one thing that may be lost in the volunteer fire service conversation is if you're in a very small rural community, as long as you can guarantee that you're going to get one piece out, right, with some qualified folks on it, and you work with the neighboring departments to ensure that they're going to get one piece out, and you can build your response model more successfully that way to ensure that you can meet that structure fire assignment where you need the most resources, that's what's key, right? You have to work together as departments to ensure that you're going to get a good response. Seasonal and special events, we do a ton of special events with the city of Rockville and around our region. It's something that our folks look forward to sometimes because it's something different. But again, it takes some management. You do have to figure out a good way to do that. We've created an application form for people and have an email for the public to request the special events. And then we generally work with the department if it's a large special event like the 4th of July or our Memorial Day weekend celebration that the city of Rockville does. We work to find people that can staff the event. If it's a smaller event, we just send the crews that are on duty. So again, having that duty crew kind of lessens the burden of us to try and scramble for people to find a special event. There's a picture of Virginia Beach up there. We're obviously in Ocean City, where your staffing is probably has to be higher during certain points of the year. So again, maybe you have that standby program during the busy season, and you fade back to like a respond from home with accountability in the off season. So that's just a quick look at what our nightly lineup looks like. I did miss dinner, and the fire chief was quick to point that out to me yesterday. Dinner is a huge part of our night crew mentality. Our crews are kind of competing to see who can be the best cooks or chefs. It builds camaraderie again in the station. When I was the Thursday night captain, when we sat down to dinner, I would make sure the TV got turned off, right? Unless there was something big going on, because that was family time for me. That's when we're going to sit and we're going to talk. What went on this week? What are you guys looking forward to? Touch in with the members. That was our time to really learn on each other. Another thing that the night crew brings to you is, or at least for us, that family of the night crew continues to grow. They start to do events sometimes outside of the firehouse. We used to focus on like doing a bowling and a summer barbecue or a pool party together as a shift to build ourselves up. This is probably one of the most important tools we have in the toolbox, and I know it's no secret in the state about live-in programs, but I also know there's places that still don't have them. This again gives you responders in the station guaranteed. Those are our most active folks. When I look at the people that are in leadership positions in our organization, most of them have served in that program, whether they joined as a local member or they came from somewhere else to go to college, whether that's at Montgomery College, University of Maryland. So it's a huge recruitment tool. Think about what's in your areas or nearby, whether it's a military installation, certain types of commerce, things that you can do that can help bring people in that this might be valuable for. So far, I haven't talked about anything that costs money except for potentially a staffing solution, which again can be done for free with a live document. Here's something that we've been talking about a lot lately, and some other departments are already doing. I've got another picture of Wheaton up there. Chief Dempsey is presenting one of his new paramedics with the custom monogrammed Littman stethoscope. Every new paramedic at Wheaton gets one of those. They have different levels of incentives that they provide to their members when they achieve qualifications. That's one way you can do an incentive program. Another incentive program that Laytonsville has that seems to be working very well for them is anything in addition to their minimum standby hours that's required in the year or in the month gets points, and they build up points like MasterCard points or credit card points, and they can then exchange those points for something. The department has a way in which they're purchasing items for the members based on the points that they trade in. And that started out, which I think is really strong, as a fire service points program, right? You could buy something from the fire store, so you're getting them something, a tool or something, a leather helmet, whatever it is that they want, and they've earned that through participation in the organization. I think a hybrid approach could also work well also. You earn points for qualifications or standby hours or attendance at special events, right? And then you can use that point system how you see fit. What's a slippery slope? And it was asked in our question yesterday is, what about the volunteers that feel like they should get paid for something? Well, we have some folks that feel that way. We do a really good job helping our folks work to get hired. We're not afraid of that. We hope that if they get hired somewhere other than Montgomery County, which we don't sway them from, that they'll come back and continue to be active with us. But back to the paying a volunteer. There are different systems that exist, like paid on call or a little incentive for each call that you run. Those types of things, probably not bad. Recently, there was some other departments, though, that I heard, they're struggling on the weekend, so they're going to pay a wagon driver to come drive the engine on a Saturday. And so where that starts to get slippery is they're desperate for an engine driver, they're putting out emails to the department, and the incentive is at $100, and then they get so desperate that it goes up to the point of like $500. And so now you've created an incentive system that keeps people from coming in because they're waiting until they get that golden nugget that you're going to dangle in front of them. So it can be a slippery slope. Tuition reimbursement and the LoSAP and tax benefits, those are things that are available to us through the state association, through many of your counties. Those are the things that we just need to do a better job advertising. They don't cost you anything, and there are a lot of very valuable incentives that are presented to us we're fortunate to have as volunteers in the state of Maryland. If they don't exist, like some of the things that we've gained in Montgomery County, like a Montgomery County volunteer is eligible for a county government job applying the same as a employee of the county government already. So you get an in-county benefit if you're a volunteer for any in-county job. We're also eligible for county employee tuition reimbursement as volunteers in Montgomery County. So those are things that, working collectively as your volunteer associations, you should be getting out to do to get more benefits to you and gain things that hopefully don't cost you any additional money. Meal stipends, same thing. We have our duty crew food program, and we're working through that with our night crews purchase the food and prepare it. We provide them with gift cards or like your kid's credit card where they can go and they only have a certain dollar amount. Other places came up with things like there's a dollar amount for every standby shift, and at the end of the month they give you a gift card and you get reimbursed for your meals. Here's some incentives that don't cost money. Building a positive culture. I can't stress this enough. Being professional and honest with your volunteers, right? Nobody wants to come to your volunteer fire department and work their butts off and get treated like crap. As those in leadership and those aspiring to be in leadership, you always have to set the example, right? I'm here today wearing my dress uniform. We're in Ocean City. I'm glad that many in the audience are comfortable, but I respect all of you enough in this platform that I've been so graciously provided that I think it's this important that I should be wearing what I'm wearing here today. Achievable goals, right? Back to that moving the goalpost mentality. You have to be able to communicate to these folks what it takes to do certain things. You have to remove barriers that are hard to overcome, like only one person is in charge of driver training, and they're the only person that can run those drills or check you off, right? Those things start to limit the ability of people to move forward, and it makes people not want to be in the volunteer fire department. The last one is really important too, and I think that some places in the audience probably do this better than we do at Rockville. We've lost some of that community feel, that family feel, that when I talk to people like volunteer at Hollywood, they still have that, right? Because the family is incorporated into a lot of the things that they do. Rockville's 2-week carnival is long gone. Unfortunately, we became so busy that event where everybody worked it together and came together and enjoyed that hard work is a thing of the past. So now we're creatively trying to weave things back into our organization, like having a family picnic or crab feast in the summertime and holiday parties, or trying to bring families and their kids to our Santa runs so that they can ride along, even if it's just riding in the utility. You know, all of our fire trucks might be in service, but they can be a part of that event. There are things that we can do to keep it a family organization. That builds into some recruitment, right? Some of our most valuable future recruits are our kids, right? Not that you should force them into that, you know. If my daughter chooses not to be a volunteer at Rockville, my feelings aren't going to be hurt. That's her choice. But it's certainly a big part of my life and has been for 3 generations of service here. And it's incorporated into her life naturally now, right? She rides in the fire truck when we do Santa runs. I have a car seat in the 1978 Mack that sits in my driveway, and she loves it. She's 8 up, 2.5 years old. She wants to go for a ride in the fire truck. Hopefully it'll last. Being creative with your recruitment though, and again, setting that expectations and standards early. Don't lie to the people that might be your future recruits. Think outside the box. This is a picture of us doing recruitment at the Harrisburg Fire Expo, hoping to gain some live-ins for our college program. I walked through the floor the other day and I applaud the Laurel Volunteer Rescue Squad. They have a recruitment booth downstairs amongst 3 or 4, I counted, career recruitment booths. I'm not saying that everybody should have a recruitment booth downstairs and rob volunteers from one another, because then we're not successful either. But maybe as a state we should be working on a program that makes it easier if somebody gets a job somewhere else and they're moving somewhere else in the state and they come to your department, that you can welcome them with open arms. We already take the same classes. If we can work to achieve some of the same in-house standards, I'll call it, so that you bring those people in and they can be more successful more quickly. Our barrier to entry with that in Montgomery County, unfortunately, is the authority holding jurisdiction. There are a lot of hoops that people have to jump through in Montgomery County. We're working to try and break those down collectively as volunteers now. Get out in your community. Again, community events, doing things, make sure that people know you're volunteers. It takes work. Social media and website, those things are pretty self-explanatory today. I'm not going to spend too much time on. Back to the future of the fire service, and I threw this slide in last night after my presentation yesterday because we talked about English Council a little bit. Chief Burry was in the room yesterday, and I know Ocean City has their cadet program, so those are like junior programs, right? Getting those people in the door. For us at Rockville, we can only join at 16. Most of the people, again, that we have in leadership today or that stay and become longtime members are people that joined that young. I would love for us to be able to create a program where people could start coming around the firehouse at 13, because if you can combat, one of the things we hear about in the volunteer fire service today, and even in the fire service in general, right? People are struggling to get people in, the attention span, just the differences in the generations, right? But if you bring them in early and you indoctrinate them into that culture, it grows in them, and hopefully you fuel that fire. You're also teaching them earlier, which means when it does come time that they can get on and off fire trucks and ambulances, they're going to do it, and they're going to excel at a more rapid pace for you. I know Chief Burry talked about English Council's program, which has been around for a long time. They have a curriculum that they mirror for those kids. I don't know a lot about Ocean City's program other than what I see through social media. Picture on the right is my high school cadet class with Montgomery County, a program that's funded by, or was funded by MCPS, and is a joint partnership with the fire department where they go to school a certain period of time and take fire classes or EMT classes. And I know those programs, again, exist in the state at different levels, but that's another recruitment opportunity. I talk often with our folks at the Volunteer Association in Montgomery County, or even internally in our department. If I had another hour in the day, I would go speak to those folks like their first week of class. Hey, how you doing? Have you considered joining the volunteer fire department? Because for that cadet program, it's not a requirement. They're also taught by career county firefighters, so sometimes that message doesn't get through to them because it just may not be on their thought process, right? I'm not saying that they're intentionally doing it. They're there to teach them their class. They're not thinking about getting them some recruitment and supporting that volunteer rank structure. Other things that exist, I've got one of the West Virginia camps up there. I know they exist in Pennsylvania and some other places. So maybe you don't have the bandwidth to do a program like this yourself. We certainly don't. Can you find a way to funnel those people to things that already exist, like the camps in Pennsylvania or West Virginia? Or could you come together collectively as an association and do something where you have the summer camp? Again, it just does a lot for your recruitment, even if you're sending them to one in West Virginia or Pennsylvania, because now those kids up there are going to get exposed to your department down here. There are a lot of resources out there, and that's why I put the National Junior Firefighter logo up at the top there. If you go to NVFC's website, there are a ton of resources to help you kickstart some of these programs. So I put this slide in today, and I was really lucky to bump into somebody from Upper Co before the presentation. And I know this has happened at other places in the state and the region. If you're struggling that much, is it possible, and I'm not saying that they were completely struggling, but if you are struggling, can you come together as 2 departments into one, 3 departments into one, and create something that is a better system for ensuring that 911 call, right? It's an out-of-the-box thought that could help save volunteerism in certain places. Back to that united in service and voice approach, I grabbed as many logos as I could find that would fit in the presentation of the associations that are represented here. You have to work together. These associations have to be your collective voice. It's okay for you to come together as a family and have some friction inside that room. But outside that room, you have to speak as one if you want to gain some of the momentum that we've gained in Montgomery County. And I applaud our association and the people that have been in charge of that for years for making some things happen. There's still a lot of work to do. Work together as a team. Building relationships. There's a number of pictures up there. Some of them are elected officials. Some of them are Rockville has hosted some group trainings to facilitate some of the things that we require, but we invite the other volunteer fire departments from the county to participate. Relationships with the community. I have a shot up there where one of our members was in one of those junior fire camps in New Hampshire, and he actually went up and taught as an instructor at that camp. Local businesses, and probably one of the most important ones is the Fire Ops 101 in the top left-hand corner. There's some folks in light blue shirts. Those are political leaders and things in our community, and the IFF started the Fire Ops 101 program in Montgomery County. The MCVFRA is invited to participate in that. So there's 2 Rockville volunteers teaching those elected officials what it means to be a firefighter EMT in Montgomery County. And so again, that's one of those things where your association should come together and find a way to get those type of programs together where you can have that one-on-one time with your elected officials, not if they happen to come to your open house and you're dealing with the public or on an emergency. Invite them to things like your Santa runs. There's another picture up there where we have 2 city council members on our Santa run coming to ride with us. One of them's daughter is now a volunteer with us.
Well, I think the outlook is good, but it doesn't come without hard work. I think that we need to get out into the community, continue to get the young people and children in our community interested in becoming volunteer firefighters, and setting up programs that would focus on that, to continue to rebuild a revolving, I guess the best way to put it, a revolving group of individuals through time that will continue to serve the community.
I certainly wish that guy was here today to give you this talk. I'm glad that I could be here to carry on his message. A couple of things that he used to say a lot. Talk is cheap, and it's easy to talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? The things that we've built came with a lot of hard work from a lot of people. It's not just me, it's not just some of our other elected leaders sitting in the room. It was generations of it. But it can start with you. You can deliver this message to your members. You can be positive. Positivity is key. There's a lot of negativity. We have to erase the stigma of, well, you don't know what it was like for me back in the day. We had it harder. I feel that way sometimes, right? And I've had to curb those messages that I give to some of our folks like the live-ins. We used to live in the general pop bunk room. They've got private rooms today. They've got their own station alerting. Like, it's really nice for them, as it should be, though, right? Anything's possible. So, Glen Echo in Montgomery County, they require 6 people in the station, 24/7, 365 to staff the engine and a transport unit. They were fully career staffed for decades. New fire chief came in, had some outside experience from some of these things, and built their program. They started putting the additional ambulance that they had in service regularly. They recognized that having 2 ambulances in service in Glen Echo, which immediately borders Washington, D.C. by the Potomac River, and their response volume is kind of low, didn't always help facilitate the training of their members, so the ambulance would go in service and then go to another station's area in the county to run more calls. They continue to build this program. It started with 1 or 2 days a week. They continue to build their crews up to where they have it every day of the week, to where 2 career firefighters nights and weekends were removed from Glen Echo and relocated somewhere else in the county where they were needed. Glen Echo made it happen. Their ATV is up there because they have an approach to the trails and the C&O Canal that they have, where instead of waiting for the call, they get the folks out on the UTV, and the unit is staffed in addition to the ambulance in service, and a lot of times their paramedic chase car now as well, and the ATV is out on the trail. So when a 911 call goes out on the weekend, where that is a very busy place, they're already there, and they're there within minutes or seconds before any other unit can get there. It also gives their volunteers something fun to do, because who doesn't want to go ride around on the ATV on the trail? And they're in the community. They're present in front of those folks that are out there on the trail, recruiting and doing other things. I hope you can take some of this message home with you. If you have anything that you have questions on, if you want to see some of our policies and procedures, if you want to know what we're doing, or the things that I've tried to pick up along the way and share with you that these other departments are doing, reach out, follow us. I'm happy to help. We're happy to share anything that we have to help make you more successful. We deeply care, and I deeply care, about making the volunteer fire service as robust as it can be to serve your community. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here today, and I hope you have a great rest of the convention.
Chief, we need you out here in the middle for a second.
Okay.
Great presentation.
Thank you, sir.
A lot better
Appreciate
than
that.
Tiger yesterday.
Appreciate that, sir.
Here's some mementos from for the department. And Now, take a It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Secretary Past President Doyle Cox, Chairman of the Awards Committee. And a fellow purple.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. Bear with me today. My voice is not where it's supposed to be at. Okay, we're going to start the presentation of the different awards. Could I have somebody from Damascus? Delegation of Damascus will be presenting the Gladill Thompson Award.
Good morning, everyone. We're from, as you said, we're from Damascus Volunteer Fire Department, and we are here to present the Gladill Thompson Award today. But as you see, there's a member of our cadre that's missing today, and that member is usually the one that does the presentation, and that member is Ronnie Watkins. Ronnie's a member of Damascus. He's also the public relations chair for the MSFA. And I spoke with Tommy this morning, and Tommy, his son, advised I could share a little bit of information with you about Ronnie. Ronnie's also affectionately known by many of us as Country. You see him down front taking pictures lots of times. You see him all around taking photos doing MSFA events. I called Tommy, spoke with Tommy this morning, and he said that over the past 63 days, Ronnie has been in 3 medical care facilities. As of today, he remains in Carroll County Hospital. His condition is guarded at best, and he's not doing well. In regards to this, we ask that you keep us, your Damascus Fire Department family, and his immediate family in your thoughts and prayers as his endeavors continue. And now for the Gladill Thompson Award. The Gladill Thompson Award was originally established by Mr. Bernard D. Gladill and accepted by the MSFA Executive Committee in 1974. Mr. Gladill saw the need to honor an individual who made outstanding contributions to the future welfare of the MSFA, and the award would be known as the Gladill Trophy at that time. This award will be considered the highest Maryland State Firefighters Association award that can be conferred upon an individual. It is an award on a highly selective basis to an individual who, in the opinion of the judges, has made an outstanding contribution to the future welfare of members of the MSFA, or who has distinguished himself or herself by exceptionally meritorious service of major significance to the MSFA or the Fire Service of the United States. In 1984, the award was changed from the Gladill Trophy to the Gladill Thompson Trophy in recognition of Mr. Buck Gladill, who was a founding member and a lifelong member of the Damascus Volunteer Fire Department, and Chief Leslie B. Thompson, who was a long-serving chief and leader at the Damascus Volunteer Fire Department. You'll see a lot of awards up here. We've had kind of a toboggan of some sort, and for the last 3 years, we have not been able to get these awards to these folks, but we would like to make sure that they got them today. So the award recipient for 2022 was Daniel Stevens, and we'd like for him to come forward if he is in the room to receive his award at this time, please. Daniel Stevens. Okay, we'll ensure that he gets that award. The award recipient for oh, he's coming? Oh, son's coming. Okay, great. His son's coming to receive that award on his behalf. Thank you. And congratulations. And we'd ask for prayers for Daniel Stevens as well. He's also in the hospital in rehab, from what I understand. The recipient of the 2023 award was Michael Faust. Is Michael Faust here? Yeah, there he is. The recipient of the 2024 award is Roger Stagger. There's Roger. And the recipient of the 2025 award is Douglas Alexander. Doug? Congratulations to all the recipients.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call Jeff Clements for the Coburn Award.
Good morning. First, I'd like to have the rest of the trustees join me on stage. We have Vice Chair Tommy Mattingly, Secretary Teresa Collins, Robbie Blackiston, and Joe McCrae. This year, while we did not have a nomination that met the criteria for the Coburn Cup, which recognizes an act of heroism by an individual from our association, we would like to recognize some of the departments for the actions that they took at the collapse of the Key Bridge. We felt that that was a significant incident that deserves recognition for acts of heroism. So if we could have someone from Baltimore City Fire Department, Baltimore County Fire Department, Baltimore County Volunteer Firefighters Association, Anne Arundel County Fire Department, and the Anne Arundel County Volunteer Firefighters Association, please come forward so we can recognize you. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving right along. The next presenter will be Robert Jacobs for the Shimemer Award.
Thank you, Joel. Good morning, everyone. Joining me on stage is past President Philip Herlock and Roger Steger, and I think he's, oh, there he is. Tom Mattingly, all past presidents, and myself. Unfortunately, John Dever, I don't believe, is here to the best of my knowledge. Anyway, I'd like to express my appreciation to everyone that submitted, all the organizations submitted nominees for the Robert H. Shimemer Administrative Person of the Year Award. Those individuals that were nominated are Philip R. Cooper from the Ridge Volunteer Fire Department, William A. Fraser from the La Plata Volunteer Fire Department, Angie Hummer from the United Steam Fire Engine Company number 3 in Frederick, Bonnie Hurley from the Rocky Ridge Volunteer Fire Company, also in Frederick County, Karen Lopes, Level Volunteer Fire Company in Hartford County, Brian McGinnis, Wheaton Volunteer Rescue Squads, Sandy McKenzie, Winfield Community Volunteer Fire Department, John S. Montgomery, Mechanicsville Volunteer Fire Department, and Jessica L. Thomas from the Joppa Magnolia Volunteer Fire Company. Past President Philip Herlock will give you a little bio of what the Shimemer report is all about. Phil?
Good morning. Thank you, Past President Jacobs. At the request of the Shimemer family and with the endorsement of the officers of the Maryland State Firemen's Association, an award was established to be presented annually in recognition for the many years of faithful and dedicated service that was provided by past President Robert H. Shimemer to the Maryland Fire Rescue and Emergency Medical Services in the state of Maryland. This prestigious award will recognize an individual for their achievements, activities, and administrative positions that they have held within their own community, county, and state. The time requirement for this award was not restricted to this past year, but could have included accomplishments of prior years as well. The intention of the award is to honor past President Robert H. Shimemer for his 37 years of continuous service to the state of Maryland and for the many different roles and responsibilities he held in his career. This award is a tribute to him for the deserved recognition that he has earned as a member of the emergency services in the state of Maryland. His passion for the emergency services is a reflection on every one of us from the past as well as the present, and his presence is sorely missed. Unfortunately, the Shimemer family could not be here today. As a result, we are pleased to present the Robert H. Shimemer Award for Person of the Year on behalf of the family to William Butch Frazier of the Plata Volunteer Fire Company. If there is anyone else that was recognized for the Shimemer Award, if they would like to contact us up on stage or behind so they can get a certificate. Thank you very much.
That's it, guys. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay. Josiah Hunt, EMS Member of the Year Award, Eric Smothers, past President Eric Smothers.
Good morning. I don't have a voice, so I'm going to let my co-chair, Gina Panarelli, do the presentation here. But I just want to say the EMS committee has really done an outstanding job this year. And we really try to look at what's going on across the whole state of Maryland as far as EMS goes. So when we have issues and stuff, the collaborative efforts that this team really makes it work and the benefit for our volunteers and career men and women across the state. So I'm going to turn it over to Gina since I don't have a voice.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gina Panarello. I'm the vice chair for the EMS committee for the MSFA. And up here on stage with me, we have our selection committee, which is made up of folks within the EMS committee of the MSFA. Obviously, Eric Smothers, current chair of EMS, Rick Udell, vice chair, Sue Mott, one of our members and our secretary who keeps us on our toes, Marianne Wareheim, and Sherry Sowers. So the Josiah Hunt Award was established in 1991 in honor of Dr. Josiah A. Hunt, who played a vital role in developing ambulance service in Harford County. This prestigious award is presented annually to an individual who exemplifies exceptional dedication and service in the field of emergency medical services. Dr. Hunt's legacy of selfless service, often leaving his medical practice to ride along with local ambulances, set a standard of care and commitment that this award seeks to recognize. The award is given each year in recognition of Outstanding EMS Individual of the Year with an EMT or above certification and is selected by a group within the MSFA EMS Committee. This award is considered to be the highest award conferred upon an individual within the Maryland Emergency Services community. The criteria includes the following. The nominee must be a member company of the MSFA. They must be submitted by an active member company of the MSFA. They must be a Maryland certified EMT or above and have a minimum 5 years of service to the Maryland Emergency Medical Services community. This year, the committee reviewed 4 outstanding nominations, each representing excellence in EMS and dedications to their communities, and it made an extremely difficult decision. The 4 nominees are Christine Deckard from the Level Volunteer Fire Company in Harford County, Christina Hurley from Rocky Ridge Volunteer Fire Company in Frederick County, Alyssa Lincolns, Potomac Heights Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad in Charles County, and Tony Lynn Sagner of the Odenton Volunteer Fire Company in Anne Arundel County. While the selection was incredibly challenging due to the caliber of all the nominees, this person stood out for their remarkable 29 years of service, having joined their department in 1999. They're not only a Maryland EMT and life member of their department and their Ladies Auxiliary, but also a certified public life safety educator and has held key leadership roles, including vice president of their department and county auxiliary president. Their service record reflects a tireless commitment to community and public safety, EMS clinician and emergency department charge nurse, mentor and motivator for fellow EMS members. They frequently ride both EMS and fire suppression units, active participant in EMS leadership and policy discussion at the county and state level. They served numerous ladies auxiliary roles as well, including fire prevention and publicity chair, fire prevention committee, the Bessie Marshall Committee, delegate to the MSFA, and conference co-chair. This person's deep involvement at every level of EMS and fire service, administrative, operational, educational, and legislative, embodies the spirit of the Dr. Josiah A. Hunt Award. They are a shining example of dedication, leadership, and compassion within Maryland's emergency services community. Please join me on behalf of the MSFA EMS Committee in congratulating Christine Deckard of the Level Volunteer Fire Company as the winner of the Dr. Josiah A. Hunt EMS Award.
Good morning. I'm going to jump in here real quick. We did have another nominee this year who actually, she just found out this morning that she was a nominee, and that is Gina Panarelli, our one and only. And also, if I could ask the other nominees to come up to receive their certificates, I would appreciate it. Please come to the stage. If they are not here, if a representative from their company could come up to receive it, please.
At this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce Charlie Abrecht, who will take care of inducting the 10 members of the Hall of Fame. Then he will move into the Marbury F. Gates 50 Years of Service Award. Charlie?
Thank you, Mr. Past President. As he said, I'm Charlie Abrecht, and I chair the Hall of Fame Committee, and we're going to start with that Hall of Fame Committee. And as I read your name, I'm going to read the name of the 10 people selected or inducted to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this morning. As I read your name, please come forward. Jeffrey Clements. Glenn Dale Fishak, Jr. Sandra Gallion. And I'm going to read these two together, Bonnie and Ed Hayden. Richard Bowie. John Speedy Nelson. Gregory Johnston. Francis Rayleigh. And William Wantz. Yeah, I guess we didn't tell you when you came on stage you had to do a solo performance of some kind, like a song. Now, on behalf of the officers and members of the Maryland State Firemen's Association, congratulations on your 2025 induction to the MSFA Hall of Fame. Thank you. Congratulations. Will Chief or President Bernard, Rockville Volunteer Fire Company, come on stage, please? No, wrong. This Eric. Yeah.
We're twins. I get it.
They look alike a lot. Yeah, I guess. All right. When I read your name as a nominee for the Marbury Gates Award, 50 years of service, please come to the stage. The first nominee is Larry Alan Mabe. Second, James A. Martin Sr. Nolan Gallion Sr. Herman Buddy Schweers Jr. Reeves Buddy Testerman Sr. Clarence Ross Jr. Franklin Perkins Jr. Clarence Chip Jewell, Alan Breyer, Paul H. Sterling, Chuck Cox, or Charles Cox, Alan Platke, William Bill Dunlop, Angelo Patterson, Paul Freelander, William Billy Ershman Jr., excuse me if I pronounced that incorrectly, Mark Bratton, David W. Lewis Sr., Mary Ann Wareheim, Michael W. Roberts, Jeffrey Allen Starner, or yes, Guyman, Jeffrey Allen Guyman, Melvin C. Steiner, Michael Charles Gist, Robert W. Smith, William Feeser Wantz, Michael Ray Stewart, Richard Scott Smith, David R. Stair, George Edwin Arbaugh, Malden Burnell Miller Jr., Edward Wagner, Charles S. Sammy Smith, Rusty Leftwich, Benjamin Kurtz, Richard Brooks, and William B. Lay Sr. We thank the 36 companies of the state of Maryland who submitted nominations, and I'm going to now turn the program over to the president of Rockville Volunteer Fire Company, Eric Bernard.
And a very good morning to you. On behalf of the officers and the members of the Rockville Volunteer Fire Department, over 350 strong, serving since 1921, we are honored and pleased to present the Marbury F. Gates Service Cup Award. We also recognize our own Chief Jack Ferguson, who was last year's recipient and is here on the stage with us again in now his 53rd year of active service at Rockville. And as you heard, these 38 names, these 38 nominees for, and I'm going to contradict a couple of the previous award announcers, this is the most prestigious award given in the volunteer fire rescue and EMS service, because these women and men have to have been serving continuously and faithfully for at least 50 years. So that means at a minimum, they joined the fire department in 1975. Now, let's look at how the Maryland Volunteer Fire and EMS Service has shaped the future by looking at the past and how our nominees before you today helped shape our modern fire rescue and EMS service and, in fact, help shape this great nation. Let's look back at the last 50-plus years of the trends and highlights starting in 1975. Now, first, the most popular names for newborn babies in 1975 were Jennifer and Michael. Sadly, there were no Jennifers, but we do have a Michael. The Ford F-150 pickup was introduced in 1975. Now, there are more than 24 Ford F-150s in the lot today, and at least 3 nominees have had at least one F-150 in their life, and sadly, one of them totaled one of those F-150s, and he said he really calls it an FU-25. Let's look at the top music. The Bee Gees, Bruce Springsteen, Captain and Tennille, Dave Bowie, Earth, Wind and Fire, Elton John, Kool and the Gang, Olivia Newton-John, Stevie Wonder, The Temptations. Now everybody, family, friends, have seen our nominees dancing and jamming to these songs, but rumor has it that one of our nominees tried to date Olivia Newton-John, but he was rebuffed. Very sad. The most popular fast food chain in 1975? Taco Bell. Now, we saw a lot of big bellies come up before you today, so we know that each one of those nominees have downed quite a few Dorito Loco Taco Supremes in their lifetime. The AMA, the American Medical Association, endorsed the use of the Heimlich maneuver, which has saved countless lives. 4 of our nominees have documented saves using the Heimlich maneuver, and several of our nominees still teach the Heimlich today to our new EMTs. The Wheel of Fortune, the longest-running syndicated game show in America, premiered on NBC on January 6, 1975. Again, one of our nominees, not the same nominee, tried to get a date with Vanna White while serving in the military. While Vanna visited the troops, sadly, he did not get that date. On January 6, 1975, a freezing cold day, a crowd of over 2,000 stormed the Boston Garden waiting to go see Led Zeppelin. That group caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage. It is reported that one of our nominees was in Boston, a little intoxicated, enjoying the performance, and still wears a Led Zeppelin t-shirt many days. I did not see him wearing it today. Barry Manilow, #1 song, Mandy. He sold 75 million records over the course of his career. Rod Stewart. We do not have a nominee named Mandy. However, we do have a relative of a nominee whose nickname is Mandy. I'm sorry, that's the best we could do there. On April 4th, Americans were using typewriters and not computers. In that year, Bill Gates and Paul Allen founded Microsoft Computers. Originally based in Albuquerque, they moved to Washington, eventually grew to a major multinational technology corporation. And in 1987, Bill Gates sold, went public. He is now the youngest billionaire at the time. Now, everybody that was before you on the stage has at least 50 years of service. They hate computers. They complain about computers. Many of them refuse to use a computer. And when they absolutely have to call their grandchildren for help every single time. 1975, against the New York Yankees in Cleveland, the Indians' Frank Robinson became the first African-American to manage a major game in the major leagues. Robinson, who also bats second, homers in the first at-bat in Cleveland's 5-3 win. Nearly 28 years earlier, Brooklyn Dodgers' Jackie Robinson, no relation to Frank, became the first African-American playing the big leagues. Over half of our nominees root for the O's, and at least one claims to have partied with Frank in Baltimore, and maybe, just maybe, alcohol was involved, but no cops. On June 20, 1975, during the 83rd annual MSFA convention, Jaws, a film directed by Steven Spielberg, made countless viewers fearful to go in the water, opened in theaters the same time we were here in Ocean City. It talks about a great white shark that terrorizes New England. Well, we've learned that one of our nominees' nickname was Jaws, and he spends a lot of time in the ocean. Even had claimed to have caught a giant great white shark that was this big. So our nominees clearly have shaped not just the fire service, but this great country. out of all of our nominees, only one could be awarded. I'm going to read the letter. It was with great pride that the officers and members of this company nominate this person for the Marbury F. Gates Service Cup Award. This person joined their volunteer fire company in November 1965. That means 60 years of service. He quickly rose through the ranks to become the fire chief in 1969 and served in that capacity for the next 6 years. He was a committed volunteer and became the top responder during his first year, as well as the next 11 years of service. That's 65 through 77. He served as company president for 4 years and has been an active board of director member for 37 years, having been reelected for a 3-year term to their board in 2023, still serving today. He was first elected president of the company in 1974, served 2 years in that capacity, then president of the Firemen's Association in his county in 95 and 96, remains active on the Hall of Fame Committee and the Ways and Means Committee, the Memorial Service Committee, and Nominating Committee, as well as chair of the Elections Committee. In 1968, became actively involved in MSFA. He has served as a delegate to the state convention, representing his department for 56 years, and has served the state association by sitting on the following committees: the Hall of Fame, Ways and Means, Firefighter of the Year, and the Legislative Committee. He became chair of the Firefighter of the Year Committee in 17 until 23, and continues to serve as vice chair of that committee. In 4 years on the executive committee, including one as chair. He was inducted into our Hall of Fame here at MSFA, as well as his county's Hall of Fame, and still actively serves in committees in the County Association as well as MSFA. His company is grateful for his service, and at the age of 87, remains an active, dedicated volunteer at his home company and the state. We are pleased to announce this year's winner is William B. Lay Sr. from Joplin Magnolia.
Excuse me, an award that is well deserved. Just by the way, Bill Lay was the individual that started the campaign to get the 50-year pin that a lot of you are wearing. So Bill has been around umpteen years and still going strong. Okay, at this time, we have a group of individuals. It is a great honor for me to introduce these individuals. Each has each has reached the good age of 90, and they're still active within their company and within their department. So if, as I call your name out, please come forward. First one on the list is William F. Cook of Waldorf, 90 years of age, 75 years of service, and still active. Next person, Bernard Weibel of Rocky Ridge, 91 years of age, 52 years of service with the department, with the company. Someone from Rocky Ridge? Albert Riss Baden, 92 years of age, 69 years with the department. Get him downstairs. Yeah, get him downstairs. Right. Next person, Ralph Starkey, Goodwill Fire Company. 92 years of age, 67 years with Goodwill. This would be Goodwill in Centerville. Dottie Davis, Vigilant Hose, 92 years of age, 65 years with the company. Donald William Smith, Senior of Benedict, 93 years of age, 50 years with the department. Anyone from Benedict? The next gentleman is no longer with us. He was nominated, and probably 2 to 3 weeks later, he passed on. Mr. Leon Collison of Ridge Volunteer Fire Department, 98 years of age, 73 years of service. And the last person I have on the list is a great gentleman, Mr. Dan Tabor of Goodwill, Centerville, 100 years old, still active, still goes by the department, 77 years of service. Somewhat, okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the individuals that we need to honor year after year. They're still with us. They're still giving us direction and guidance. So thank you. This time I'd like to introduce Steve Cox, who will take care of the Edward Emke Award.
Waiting on you. All you got to do is stand there.
I'll stand here.
If not,
They look pretty, right?
If not, I'm going to wrap you. Good morning. I have the honor and privilege of presenting the Cadet Program of the Year Award. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the award. The Edwin L. Emke Sr. Cadet Award was established by past President Roger N. Powell and underwritten by American Claims Service and accepted by the Maryland State Firemen's Association Executive Committee at the November 2011 meeting. The award was established to recognize Edwin L. Emke Sr. for his outstanding service in promoting cadet programs. The outstanding cadet program must be sponsored by a fire, rescue, or EMS department, company, or squad. The program should be based on the teaching of safety and basic skills required for firefighting and emergency medical service. Nominations are submitted by a committee within the department, company, or squad, as long as they're verified by the president or the chief. The award is presented each year at the annual MSFA convention and conference. The winning department, company, or squad receives a master trophy, which is here, and President Carey will make that presentation shortly. And it's held for 1 year and then relinquished at the following convention and conference, at which time the past year recipient receives a plaque for permanent possession. The trophy is then has the award date and the name of the company engraved on the trophy and remains on the trophy. The winning department also receives $500 prize, should be utilized to assist with promoting and funding the cadet program. To be eligible, a program must have a minimum of 7 cadets between the ages of 9 and 15. The program must have been established for no less than 5 years before the nomination, and they must hold monthly or bi-monthly meetings, drills, training events, and community service programs, and be involved in other department company activities. At this time, we would like to recognize last year's recipient, the Williamsport Volunteer Fire Company. Okay. We'll move on to the recipient of this year. This year's recipient of the Edwin L. Imke Senior Cadet Award is the Level Volunteer Fire Company from Harford County. Representatives, please come up. They're coming. Once again, congratulations.
At this time, I would like to introduce the delegation from Mountain Area Volunteer Fire Department for the C. Oscar Baker Rookie of the Year Award.
Hi, I'm Sue Hubble, President of Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company. Joining me today, I have my second Vice President and also past President of Mount Airy, Matt Hurd, past President and past Chief of Mount Airy, Gary Hubble, Doug Alexander, past President of CC Visa, MSFA Trustee, Rick Baker, past President of Mount Airy and CC Visa, and Terry Baker. We're here to present MSFA past President C. Oscar Baker Rookie of the Year Award. Oscar joined Mount Airy in 1941. He was drafted in the Army in 1943. He got injured in service, went through 3 different countries before he made it back to the United States. He started his career in the fire service in 1948. In 1965, he became the first fire chief in what is now known as NIST. Oscar served as Mount Airy's president from 1952 to 1956. At that time, he was instrumental in acquiring Mount Airy's first ambulance, as well as the purchase of the property that we now know as the Carnival Grounds on Twin Arch Road. He served as president of Carroll County Volunteers Firemen's Association twice, in 1965 and again in 1991, and served as president as MFSA in 1978 to 79. At the time of his passing, Oscar had 81 years of membership with Mount Airy, 70 of those as an active member. This year we received 8 nominations for the honor of MSFA Rookie of the Year. Will the following nominees please come forward to be recognized for your accomplishments? Stephanie Way from the Wheaton Volunteer Rescue Squad, Nicholas Shawn from Winfield Community Volunteer Fire Department, Nathan Douglas Inslee from Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department, Jenna Larkin from the Jefferson Volunteer Fire Department, Javier Packer from Odenton Volunteer Fire Department, Nicole C. Gardner from Middle River Volunteer Fire and Rescue, Josh Agani from the United Steam and Fire Company No. 3 in Frederick, and Kermit Tillett from Ridge Volunteer Fire Department. This year's recipient joined in June of 2023 and has completed Hazardous Materials, Firefighter 1 and 2, Rescue Tech, Site Operations, Vehicle and Machinery Extrication. They also completed Emergency Medical Technician and Emergency Vehicle Operator, in addition to completing several FEMA independent study courses, including Safety Orientation, Incident Command Introduction, Emergency Planning, Decision Making, and Problem Solving, to name a few. This was all accomplished while completing high school and earning certification as a clinical medical assistant and nursing assistant. On behalf of the MSFA, Mount Airy is proud to present the C. Oscar Baker Rookie of the Year Award to Jenna Larkin from Jefferson Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay, moving right along. Mr. Tim Deaton, Firefighter of the Year.
Morning. If there's any more members of the Firefighter of the Year committee, would you please come forward? There comes Bill, Mike, Mr. Gattens, Dave's up here. I know Bill's in a cruise. Jeff, if you're around. Okay, unfortunately, it's just like with a lot of the awards here this morning. We represent 300 plus departments across the state, and the submissions are to some of these awards are very low, and this one is one of them. This year we had 9 nominations for the Firefighter of the Year. So I'll read your name out. If you would, please come up to the stage and accept your certificate. First one is Christopher, I'm going to butcher this last name, Baysand. We have Greg Winchester, Evan Triplett, Mark Flock, Joseph Joe McLaughlin, Charles Redtop Henderson. We have Ronald Cox, Alan Hurley, and Robert Brickle. And if there's anyone from any of those departments, if you would come up to accept those, that would be great. Just want to read you just a couple little excerpts out of the nomination for this individual. This individual continues to focus more on the efforts to train and give live opportunities to his cadets and junior members, and also the new senior members within the department. During recent snowstorms, winter events, and stuff like that, this individual has stayed at the station and helped maintain coverage for the area and work with the groups and the opportunities on drill nights. He was one of the original members of their water supply committee. He was also been a top runner in fire calls for the last few years. The water supply committee of the county which they're from, he has also been part of that. He's the chief engineer, chief apparatus review committee, and he secured the design and the funding for a new rescue squad for his department. So it gives me great honor this morning to present this year's Firefighter of the Year to Charles Redtop Henderson.
The next award, this is a brand new award that came out this year under the leadership of the association last year. This was suggested. At this time, I'd like to introduce John Long, Chief Chaplain, as for the Chief Chaplain Emeritus J. Harvey Dixon Memorial Award.
The Chief Chaplain Emeritus J. Harvey Dixon Chaplain of the Year Award was proposed by MSFA President Eric Smothers and approved by the Executive Committee. President Smothers wanted to acknowledge the dedication and work of the chaplains that served unnoticed, bringing light and acknowledgement to the importance of having trained chaplains to serve our members. Today is the first presentation of this award. The award is named in honor of lifelong commitment and dedication of Chief Chaplain Emeritus J. Harvey Dixon from the Salisbury Fire Department, the Wycomico County Volunteer Firemen's Association, and the Maryland State Firemen's Association, and the Federation of Fire Chaplains. This year's nominees, and please, if you're here, come up on the stage. Chaplain Harry A. Hetz, Beltsville Volunteer Fire Department. Chaplain Emeritus, Prince George's County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. Chaplain Joseph L. Gardner, Jr., La Plata Volunteer Fire Department. Chaplain Southern Maryland Volunteer Firemen's Association. Deacon Roy P. Crawford, Chaplain Wheaton Volunteer Fire Rescue Squad, and Chaplain Montgomery County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. This year's winner goes to Chaplain Harry Hetz from the Beltsville Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay, Safety Award, Chairman Black.
Good morning, late afternoon. So I am first time presenting this award as the new safety chair for the full convention. So I would like to tell you a little about the Smith N. Statham Jr. Memorial Safety Award. It's presented to an individual who does the most to promote fire and EMS safety within the department and encourages the safety officer program. We had 2 nominations this year. Firstly, I would like to, did David Lewis pop in here? You are. Outstanding. So David, could you come up, please, sir? Dave was teaching, so I wasn't sure if he was going to come in here today. We're the Dave and Dave twins. He chairs the MFCA Safety Committee, and I got the MSFA Safety Committee. Dave last year was the winner of the 2024, so I'd like to present him with the his individual trophy or plaque to take home for himself. All right. So like I said, we had 2 nominees for this this year's award, and I would like to bring them both up if I can. First off is Mr. Ridgel, Philip Ridgel here from Ridge, or a representative from Ridge, Ridgely. Gotta look at my notes, see? Let's see here. Yes, Philip Ridgel from Ridge. Is he here or a representative from Ridge? Okay, I'm sorry. Bright lights, glasses, tinted, can't see. And Mr. David Reed, if you could come to the stage, please. Got it. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming up here. We received these two nominations this year. I will start with the winner, and then we will go with the second nominees. So I would like to present the Statham Award to Mr. David Reed for this year. But before I walk out here, my astounding protege over here, Mr. Lewis, is the one that sent me this two-page document on Mr. Reed. And I would like to highlight some items on this because it's very important to me. First off, Dave has been with the fire service for years. He's with the United Communities Fire Company, which is here on the shore up near the Bay Bridge. He's currently their safety officer and their EMS lieutenant. And before that, he was at 20 years with Kent Island, doing the same position. So he's got close to 50 years of service. So he'll be here in another year or two getting that award as well. He's got a bachelor's degree in marine engineering, but his primary responsibility at United Communities is the appointment of the Safety Department Safety Officer, the position held since 2018. He directly reports to the fire chief with the following responsibilities. He manages the department safety program, keep up to date with applicable laws, which are local, state, and federal occupational safety regulations, and maintains their SOPs regarding that. He's a liaison to the department's investigative committee. He's a liaison with, I bet it will say, as soon as I get my fingers to work here, the Queen Anne's County Risk Management Manager, and he performs facility and PPE inspections and acts as the incident safety officer. He developed the department's risk management plans necessary to compliance with the health and safety standards of NFPA 1500. And in recognition of service to the department, David was awarded the Chief's Award and the Officer of the Year Award as well. Like I said, he came from Kent Island with 20 years doing the same job there. He is currently one of the original members of the MFCA Safety Committee and writes almost bi-monthly articles in the backstep report that goes out. So with that, Dave, just the highlights of this. We would like to award you, yes. Mr. Phillip, I would like to give you this plaque as the runner-up for the Memorial Safety Award from Ridge with your years of service, and I've read yours as well, and they're very, very similar, and I greatly appreciate your time doing what you do for the state of Maryland and St. Mary's County.
We have three young men seated in the audience this morning. I'm pleased to announce that the association has been providing some assistance to these individuals. Later on this month, I believe it is, that they are traveling to Atlanta, Georgia to participate in the National Skills USA competition. The competition will be in the fire division and EMS division. All three individuals are from Southern Maryland, North Beach Volunteer Fire Department. I'd like to introduce the three of them, if they would please stand and come up on stage. Oliver Fox, also Matthew Kinzer and Ryan King. Each jurisdiction, from what I understand, has a cadet program through their local high school. You know, the last 3 years, 4 years, the individuals have always been from Southern Maryland. Like to see some competition from the other parts of the state. Gentlemen, good luck, you know, as you travel south, and we will see you when you get back. Right, thank you. Coming up next will be Mr. Rose with the John E. Sonny Rose Memorial Training Award.
Good morning. We still morning? Yes. Hi, I'm Bob Rose. This is my grandniece and Sonny's grandniece, Abigail. We're here to present the John E. Sonny Rose Memorial Training Award. This award goes to the individual volunteer in the state of Maryland with the most hours dedicated to fire service and emergency services training for the prior year. This is the 10th year since Sonny's passing, and that was not lost on me this morning. This award is sponsored by the Odin Volunteer Fire Company and the Rose family. And this year we actually have a little rundown. We had several nominees. From my home company, Odin, third place was Richard Allen with 342 hours. Second place was Nicole Gardner from Middle River with 374.5 hours. And this year's recipient from Early Heights with 780.5 hours, Kimberly Kirshner. Is Kimberly here or somebody from Early Heights? You can come out with us. So I just want to point out, Kimberly has the individual award that is hers to keep. The large trophy here, which I will take backstage and get it out front for her to pick up, goes to her home station of Early Heights, where they'll maintain that for the ensuing year. And I hope to see you all back here next year. And as I've said in previous years, please put your people in for these awards. This year we did have a little competition, but several years in the past we only had one applicant. So we do like to see some competition, and we'd like to see you recognize your members. And myself and the Odin Volunteer Fire Company and the Greater Rose family, thank you all very much. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to bring up Bridget with the Family Appreciation Award.
Good morning. The purpose of the award is to recognize the family of a volunteer fire EMS member who sacrifices their time with the member for the good of the community. This year we had 5 nominees. As I say your name, if you could please come forward, or a representative from that family. Our first nominee was James R. Bobby Skinner from Sutlersville Volunteer Fire Company. Our second nomination was for Dave Lewis from Odenton Volunteer Fire Company. Our third nominee was for the Burrier family from Rocky Ridge Volunteer Fire Company. Carl Broussard family from Winfield Fire Department. The Hinch family from Level Volunteer Fire Company. And the Chairs family from Queen Anne Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Company. I'd like to read the letter for this year's winner for the Family Appreciation Award. This family is being nominated for the MSFA Family Appreciation Program Award in recognition of their unwavering dedication, leadership, and continued service to our department and community for nearly 80 years. The winner of this award this year is the Chairs family. John W. Chairs and his son, John J. Chairs Sr., were charter members of our fire company when it was established in 1945. Their legacy of service laid the foundation for a multi-generational commitment that continues today. John Sr.'s son, Jack, and David followed in their footsteps. Jack joined in 1965 and David in 1971. Remarkably, John Sr., Jack, David, and David's son-in-law, Eric Voorhees, have all served as chief of the company. Jack worked as a paid CRT for Talbot County, while David became one of the first paid CRTs for Queen Anne's County. David's children, Stacy and Chad, joined the company in 1999. Stacy is an administrative member and Chad is a junior cadet. That same year, Stacy's then boyfriend and now husband, Eric Voorhees, joined as a firefighter. Eric quickly rose through the officer ranks and eventually became chief in 2016, a position he is currently serving in. Eric and Stacy's 3 children are also involved in the department. Kylie joined in 2018 as a cadet firefighter EMT, earning her Firefighter 1 and EMT certifications before graduating high school. She continues to serve actively in both roles. Mason also joined in 2018 as a cadet firefighter and is now a certified firefighter. Christian joined in 2023 as a junior cadet and is now a cadet member. The next generation continues to grow within the department. Mason's fiancée Cassidy and Kylie's fiancé Grady have both joined the fire company. Cassidy is a firefighter EMT and is currently enrolled in an EMT class. Grady serves as a firefighter and has completed Firefighter 1. Chad's wife Julie became an administrative member in 2014 and supports the company through committee work and fundraising efforts. Chad currently serves as first lieutenant and is consistently one of the company's top responders. David has served for 53 years and remains one of the most active members, currently holding the role of chief engineer and serving on the board of directors. He chairs the Talbot County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association Engineers Committee and is a past member of the MSFA Rural Water Supply Committee. David is also a life member of the Maryland Fire Chiefs Association. The Chairs family has deep roots in Queen Anne. Having once owned Chairs Brothers, now known as Atlantic Tractor, David, Jack, Stacy, and Eric are all life members of the department. Eric works full-time as a paramedic for Queen Anne's County and part-time with Caroline County. This family's steadfast dedication, spanning 4 generations and totaling over 80 years of collective service, exemplifies the spirit of volunteerism and community leadership. Whether responding to calls, serving on committees, maintaining equipment, or supporting fundraisers, the Chair family remains a cornerstone of our department. We respectfully submit this nomination in recognition of their legacy and continued commitment to the Queen Anne Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Company and the communities we serve. At this time, I'm going to present the plaque, Family Appreciation Award, presented to the David Chairs Queen Anne Hillsborough Fire Company in recognition of your unwavering dedication, selfless service, and the powerful example you set by answering the call together. Your family's collective commitment to the fire service embodies the true spirit of community, courage, and sacrifice, standing strong side by side for a safer tomorrow, presented this 17th day of June, 2025.
Next on the agenda is Mr. Ron Block, Next Generation Leadership.
Good morning. I'm Ron Block, Chairman of the Reaching the Next Generation Committee, and it is my honor to present this year's Next Generation Leadership Award this morning. The challenge we faced was selecting a winner out of the 5 nominees that were submitted to us for consideration. Now, I would read you all their qualifications, but if I did, they'd have to move the rest of this ceremony to tomorrow. We'd be here that long. These 5 young people are tremendous in every respect. The nominees are here. Will you please join me on stage? Susan Hilton from the Damascus Volunteer Fire Company. Christopher Broussard from Winfield and Community Volunteer Fire Company. Kermit Tillett, Holton Bickle, and Jonathan Bowley, all from the Ridge Volunteer Fire Company. This is the second year we've had the privilege of presenting this award and recognizing these new leaders. The qualifications are, you must be 30 years of age or younger. So we do discriminate in a way, but it's to encourage recognition and participation from the younger members of our teams. You must be active in your department and in your county or the state association. And you must have leadership roles in wherever you're participating, or at least in one area. It is my pleasure to announce that this year's winner is Susan Hilton from the Damascus Volunteer Fire Company. This is the plaque. Her name will be added to that. Each nominee will receive a certificate Those are in process, and we'll get them to you as soon as they're ready. But I want to thank the departments for recognizing the members of your team and submitting these really complete, thorough, and glorifying nomination letters that you presented to this committee. This was not an easy task. We wish we could give out 5 of them, but we can't. But I encourage you to submit your nominations for next year to help recognize the new leaders in your organization. Again, thank all of you very much.
The next award will be the Francis L. Bannigan Instructor of the Year Award.
Good morning. The Francis L. Brannigan Instructor of the Year Award is sponsored by the Maryland Fire Service Professional Qualifications Board and the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute. Chief Robinson, President of the MFS PQB, and myself are honored to present this award each year to the instructors who are selected for their outstanding work and accomplishments. As you know, the EMS fire rescue organizations here in our state are some of the best in the nation. Within these organizations, there exists a group of special individuals who are extremely dedicated and committed. These individuals take great pride in their work and quietly go about their duties, always doing much more than is required. Although limited in numbers, these individuals are the hardest working, most dedicated people you will ever find. And more importantly, they are always willing to accept a challenge. These individuals routinely go above and beyond the call of duty, putting forth that extra effort to make their students the best that they can be. However, you'll never see their exploits on the evening news. They operate quietly behind the scenes, participating in various activities over and above the call of duty. This year's award winner is one of these individuals that I just described. As a member of the state's EMS Fire Rescue Service, as both a volunteer member in Harford County and a career member of the Baltimore County Fire Department, as well as a multidisciplined instructor here at the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute for more than 16 years, where they have logged nearly 4,000 hours of teaching time. In addition to this tremendous accomplishment, this instructor has continued to contribute in various other ways, such as participating in strategic planning processes, taking part in Congressional Fire Service Institute days, functioning as a subject matter expert, also working as a member of groups that put exams together for us, do exam validation, and last but not least, filling in as an acting regional coordinator at MIFRE Southern Maryland Regional Training Center. Nevertheless, this individual's success as an instructor are not just about their diverse experiences or class results, but rather the steps they have taken to prepare themselves to ensure student success by clearly going above and beyond what is expected of an instructor. By fostering an atmosphere conducive to learning, taking extra steps to ensure maximum comprehension of the subject, spending extra time reviewing classwork, and working with their students to ensure comprehension
and complete learning, this instructor has more than demonstrated the willingness to go above and beyond to achieve what many others have not. Throughout their service, they have continued to earn the respect of their peers, co-workers, and fellow instructors by making a conscious commitment to always place their students' needs above anything else. With that said, and with no further ado, it is with great pleasure that Chief Robinson and I present the Francis L. Brannigan Instructor of the Year Award for 2025 to Instructor Ed Rashinkas, retired Baltimore County Fire Lieutenant, Falston volunteer, and MIFRE instructor. Good job, buddy.
Okay, we're coming down to the end. In the past years, we've had the Zembar Training Award, which you see sitting in front of us. Last year, we decided that between the family and the association that we would retire the Zembar Award and established 2 new training awards. So at this time, I'd like to introduce past President Steve Cox on the retirement of the Zembar Training Award.
Thank you, Doyle. It's my honor to present the training award this year. As Doyle mentioned, the Zembar Fire Service Training Award was established in 1976 by Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Zembauer in memory of their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Cromwell Zembauer. Cromwell Zembauer was a past president of the MSFA and a member of the training committee for many years. The Zembauer Fire Service Training Award is based on the average number of formal training hours per active member for fire rescue training completed in the fiscal year before the award. The original award was based solely on formal training offered by MIFRE. However, in 1995, the award was changed to include formal training offered by other recognized agencies. Submissions are submitted and then forwarded to MIFRE for validation. This year, with the approval of Mrs. Peggy Zembauer, the Zembauer Fire Service Training Awards being retired to the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute and will be displayed at the College Park headquarters facility. This time, would President Carey and Director Cox come out for that retirement? Unfortunately, Peggy Zembar is not able to be with us this year. She had a little setback and is in the hospital in Florida, and we want to make sure that we can send her pictures of this event. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. You can take it if you want. We'll get it later. Stay here, stay here. Watch, yeah.
He's younger than I am, so he.
I won't make a comment.
But I'll have my 18th birthday next month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 new fire service training awards have been established, and they were approved by the MSFA Executive Committee on December 15th, 2024. One award is presented to a company department with an active operational membership of 1 to 99 members, and the second award is presented to a company or department with an active operational membership of 100 or more. And the thought was to include more departments. If you ever participated, it was rather difficult for a large department with 150 members to compete with a department that had 25 when both departments had active members taking large programs like Firefighter 1, EMT, and so on. The Fire Service Training Award consists of a trophy, which will be presented to the winning company department. That company or department will display the trophy until the following convention. Then the trophy will be returned for presentation to the next recipient. The department surrendering the trophy will then receive a plaque for permanent display that they were the awardee the previous year. First and second runner-ups will also be presented. Receiving a plaque for last year's award, and I have to apologize, I don't have a proceedings book and was asked to fill in, and it wasn't even on the trophy. Last year's recipient, would you please come up and be acknowledged? And I apologize that we don't have that information. Last year's recipient in the room? Come on up. Again, I apologize, and we will get the plaque to you. Come on up. I'm sorry? Newmarket Volunteer Fire Company from Frederick County. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for coming up, and we will get the plaque to you. And again, our apology. Okay, thank you. We'll begin this year with the department with 99 members or less. The third place runner-up is United Steam Fire Engine Company number 3, Frederick County. You'll be able to shake the president's hand, and we'll get plaques for you. Whatever. Go out for a picture, please. Second place with 99 members or less, New Market District Volunteer Fire Company. Again, Frederick County. Photo op, and we'll get the plaque. So we owe you two. Skip, don't push her. Don't push her. The recipient of the first place trophy of 99 members or less is Brunswick Volunteer Ambulance and Rescue Company. Do you need these?
No, I got my own.
Let's give them one more round of applause. For a department or company with 100 plus responding members, we only received one nomination. We did not receive nominations that would receive the second or third place. The recipient of the 100 plus responding member training award, first place, is Vigilant Hose Company. Any representatives? Anyone from Vigilant Hose? Somebody from Frederick County want to accept it for them? just go with one. Again, let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to those recipients. Ladies and gentlemen, go back to your companies. The intent to make 2 awards, and certainly with the concurrence of Ms. Peggy Zembauer, she wanted to see more companies receive award for training. That's why she agreed to the 2 different trophies rather than the one. And for the runner-ups, please look at your training and submit your company for the award. Thank you.
For the 2025 Fire Prevention Awards, Ms. Teresa Crisman.
Good morning. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody that's been a part of fire prevention for this last year. As you see up on the QR code, it's get involved. That's our message this year, is get involved. Everybody take out your phones right now. We're going to have a little exercise. Scan the QR code, save it for your fire prevention ambassadors or your fire prevention chairs or committees or whoever you have at your fire departments that actively support your efforts. You get to work with me a little bit closer in ways, and I greatly appreciate the support. So the NFPA, I get the clicker here. I think this is it. Oh, yep. We'll go back to that one. NFPA has released its national message this year is Charge into Fire Safety, Lithium-ion batteries in your home. Works to educate everyone about using these batteries safely. The campaign stresses on how important it is to buy, charge, and recycle safely when it comes to lithium-ion batteries. It is so important. I am so happy that the NFPA has taken this challenge on. It's not their normal aspect, prevention, smoke alarms, CO alarms, escape plans. They're taking a new approach, and I'm very happy for this. This is being released in NFPA this week, and they have more information to follow with us. I did send out, and we'll send it out through the Friday report also, all the toolkits that are there. So you can actually go to the NFPA website right now. You can download all the things, the items that they have, the media pieces, your social media aspects, ways to engage your community, especially in this content. So let me go back to, oops, I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Let's do this. Okay, here you go. Maryland Community Risk Reduction. I know Jason spoke about this yesterday, but our next one is October 18th and 19th. Please work with us. Get the smoke alarms. We have CO alarms for everybody. So if you want to be a part of that, please engage. So why we're all here today, our Fire Prevention Awards. So overall, I'd like to bring up the following companies. The Baltimore Pike Volunteer Fire Company number 4, the Urbana Volunteer Fire Department, the United Communities Volunteer Fire Department, Cobb Island Volunteer Fire Department and Emergency Medical Services, the Jefferson Volunteer Fire Company, the Newburgh Volunteer Rescue Squad and Fire Department, the Churchill Volunteer Fire Department, the Potomac Heights Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, the Manchester Volunteer Fire Department Ambassadors Program, the Ridge Volunteer Fire Department, the 2nd District Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, the Junior Fire Company, Bay District Volunteer Fire Department, Mechanicsville Volunteer Fire Department, the Waldorf Volunteer Fire Department, Company number 12, Damascus Volunteer Fire Department, the Frederick County, Maryland Frederick County, Maryland Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association Fire Prevention Committee, the Montgomery County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Auxiliary Association Committee. Is everybody up here? Is there any more ambassadors out on the stage, the audience? If you're an ambassador, come on up. Anybody? Anybody? I know you got them. Here you go. Is your name missing up on here? So next year, I hope to see everybody back up on the stage because it's really important to find ways to educate. You know, we have two classifications. We have the year-long program, and then we have the single program where you're able to do some little project and then give it. We have a couple of those up here as well. We have another region that did a single project on a new take on stuff. So we were very fortunate of that. So in the year-round classification, the only region was Cobb Island Volunteer Fire Department. So their book's there somewhere, so we'll give it out to you guys. Regions 3 was Newburgh, Potomac, Solomons, and Jefferson. Regions 4 were Ridge, 2nd District, and Junior Fire Company. Region 6, Class 5, I'm sorry, is Bay District, Mechanicsville, and Citizens Truck Company number 4. We had no career departments enter, and then we had 2 for the county fire prevention committees. Sorry. So those regions for year-round entries, the first place was Newburgh, second place was Potomac for Class 3, third place was Solomons, and fourth place was Jefferson. So congratulations, everybody, on those. Class 4 was first place Ridge, second place 2nd District, and Junior Fire Company. And then Class 5, first place was Bay District, second place was Mechanicsville, third place was Citizens Truck Company number 4. And then in the overall for year-round entries, first place went to the Frederick County, Maryland Fire and Rescue, and then the second was the Montgomery County Association projects. For single place, for single projects, Class 1 was the Benedict Volunteer Fire Department. They did a trunk or treat program. Class 2 was Potomac Fire Company number 2, a program book. Class 2, United Communities, Fire Prevention Poster and Open House. And the Urbana Fire Department Class 3. Class 1 was for Ridge, for their single entry program. And then for Class 4 was Bay District, Mechanicsville for those. And then the overall place, each entry will receive the fire prevention kit from the NFPA. It is $1,000 worth of items for you guys, okay? This is the best way to give back to fire prevention is what we see fit. And we're grateful for this opportunity that we were allowed to give you guys back that information. Yep. And the ambassadors get a kit too, so you guys get some cool stuff also. The first place overall is the Frederick County, Maryland Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. Is anybody from Frederick here? Yeah, they'll take their books home today. Something's wrong. The other first place was the Ridge Volunteer Fire Company. Second place was Mechanicsville Junior Fire Company in Waldorf Fire Department number 12. Third place was Bay District, Newburgh, Manchester, and the Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. They had 2 projects. Fourth place is the 2nd District Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, Cobb Island, Baltimore Pike, Jefferson, and Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Rescue Association. In 5th place was Potomac Heights, United Communities, Urbana, Churchill, Branchville, Damascus, and the Greenbelt Fire Department. Okay, again, thank you all very, very much. Please be a part of this program next year. Please find ways to engage in your community. And what we're trying to do is keep our fire deaths down in this state, and it's really important that we maintain that we're at a good number right now, and I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Be a part of the program. Look at some of the things. We do have the rules. Remember, we have 2 classes, and it's per your population, so you're not going to be going up against a big department, say, or a little department. You know, it's all about engaging your communities and finding the answers and ways to help everybody to make them safe. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce the Scholarship Committee.
Good morning, everyone. It's still morning. I'm Barb McCrae. I'm chair of the Scholarship Committee for the Maryland State Firefighters. With me, I have my committee. I have Susan Mott, who is our co-chair. We have Frank Rasaniti, Doug Simpkins, Rob Ryan, Matt Stevens, Deb Kurtz, and our executive liaison, Lynn Hawkins. This year, we were very fortunate to have 20 applicants from 10 counties around the state. That's the most county participation we have had. We also have partners of Delmarva, Shock Trauma, the Maryland Committee on Trauma, and we have participation from the Legacy Donation Program from Frank Carasaniti and the Whitman Record, and Associates that mails and made donations. This year, we're really excited to be able to announce a Charlie Riley Scholarship. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate. The checks have been sent to the schools. And if a recipient is not here, if we could have someone from the recipient's company, or if that doesn't happen, we will have a representative from the committee to make a presentation at the recipient's home company. So now I'd like to start with the Charlie Riley, and that is being presented by Michelle Williamson. So if we could have Zachary Marquez, please come forward. Yeah. Next, we have the shock trauma being presented by Rebecca Gilmore, and the recipient is Carly Gill from Abington Volunteer Fire Company, Harford County. Yep. Well, we will present, unless someone comes up from Abington. Okay. News to me. Yes. The Maryland Committee on Trauma, being presented by Claire Leidy and Jim Brown. And the recipients are Andrew Borum from Essex Volunteer Fire Company in Baltimore County, and Carly Gill from Abington Volunteer Fire Company in Harford County. I don't believe they are here either. But no, with Susan. Oh, okay. It's Andrews. Oh. Would you give one to Becky? Finished? Now the MSFA scholarships. Our first recipient is Tyler Bowles from United Communities Volunteer Fire Company in Kent County. He did receive his certificate at his high school award ceremony. Are they coming on? So come on over. Hmm? From Middle River Volunteer Fire Company, we have Nicole Gardner, again, Baltimore County. Anything from Nicole? Somebody walking up, looks that way. From Pleasant Valley Community Fire Company in Carroll County, we have David Guyman. From La Plata Volunteer Fire Company, we have Joshua Gilroy, Charles County. From Pikesville Volunteer Fire Company, we have Rachel Gordon, Baltimore County. From United Communities Volunteer Fire Company, Kent County, Evelyn Hawkins, one of our own. Adam Hose from Community Volunteer Fire of District 12, Washington County. His certificate will be given to him at his company. From Level Volunteer Fire in Harford County, we have Alyssa Johnson. From Hillendale Volunteer Fire, Monica Kim, Montgomery County. Oxford Volunteer Fire Company in Talbot County, Robert Norbury, or Norbury. Monique Perez from Rockville Volunteer Fire Company, Montgomery County. Anybody from Rockville here? Okay, you guys get off. You're done. Maeve Perich from Maryland City Volunteer Fire and Rescue, Anne Arundel County. Yeah, he's here.
Everybody from Anne Arundel here. Let's go. Let me get it. Come and get it. We got money. Tell Ron Block to come up here. Thank you all.
I know this one's here because I've met him. Bryson Ritchie, Goodwill Volunteer Fire Company, number 1, Washington County. Yeah. Lauren Riverde, Ellicott City Volunteer Fire Company, Howard County. Lauren is also quiet down back there. Lauren is also the recipient of the Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship, which they gave her. Wait, Lauren. Frank. She gets 2. You get 2 awards as soon as I can get Frank to come up. Frank. Come on. There you go. Yeah, she got the Ladies Auxiliary and also an MSFA. Congratulations. 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 And our final scholarship goes to Andrew Vogel, New Windsor Volunteer Fire Company, Carroll County. Thank you, and I thank the committee for all their hard work. We meet several times a year, and it's quite a task going through these scholarships, making sure all the information is complete. So congratulations to all our recipients. And remember, the scholarships open up January 1, 2026.
There was one award that was overlooked, a very important award, which has been around the association for many years. This time, I would like to invite the delegation of the Silver Spring Fire Prevention Award. Please come forward.
Yep. Light. Oh. Presidents, officers, delegates, distinguished guests, firefighters, emergency medical personnel, auxiliary, and fire companies, rescue squads across this great state of Maryland, good morning. I think it's still morning. The President and Board of Trustees of the 110-year-old Silver Spring Fire Department and its membership welcomes you to this 133rd Annual Maryland State Firefighters Association. My name is Mark Perlman, and I'm a member of the Silver Spring Life Safety Committee. I have the honor of addressing this committee, this convention recognizing the men and women as firefighters, EMT, paramedics, IV techs, auxiliary members who stand tall in our service to the citizens of our great state of Maryland. Following the legacy that Dave Gratz, Mel Harris, and Burt Brenner have left behind, the Silver Spring Trophy for Fire Prevention Excellence was drawn from efforts of those who have come before and are remembered for their contributions to fire prevention. It recognizes the highest achievement in the field of fire prevention as judged by one's peers. The trophy symbolizes what we strive to do in the field of fire prevention in every community in our state. The Silver Spring Trophy singles out an outstanding member of a fire department, rescue squad, or ladies auxiliary who deserves individual recognition and efforts in the year of 2024, the Fire Prevention Excellence. We recognize these efforts and fresh, new, innovative ideas which bring credit to the fire service and respect to the fire company and give honor to our state association. It's an honor to celebrate the dedication, exceptional contributions of an individual who has made our community safer. She has worked her way up from EMS lieutenant to fire lieutenant to fire captain to assistant fire chief and now vice president. She has been the chairperson of the Hartford County Fire and Injury Prevention Committee for 20 years. She is co-chair of the Hartford County Miss Fire Prevention Contest for 25 years. She has been the chairperson of the Fire Prevention Committee for the Level Fire Company for over 30 years. She has developed the county's first ever children's safety camp that will celebrate 31 years of continuous activities. The safety camp educates children on preventing accidents, preparing for the unexpected, and how to respond to emergencies. It is where children learn school, bus, bicycle, seatbelts, kitchen, railroad, water, wildlife, lawnmower, safety. Yes, all the above. They learn when to call 911 and in today's environment during school hours when to run, hide, and or fight. She runs 2 3-day camps, Play It Safe Camp for kindergartners to 5th graders, Boot Camp for 6th to 9th graders, teaching valuable life-saving lessons to young people during their developmental ages. She works hard to fund the camp so that children and their parents do not pay, and it's open to all. It has been such a huge success that the classes are immediately filled, causing a lengthy waiting list. On top of this, she has worked full-time for the past 36 years as a dispatcher for the Department of Emergency Services, as well as being a vital part of their public education team. For excellence in the field of fire prevention for the year 2024, it gives me great pleasure to present to this convention the winner of the Silver Spring Trophy for Fire Prevention from Level Volunteer Fire Company, Vice President Rhonda Hinch. Special thanks to the Fire Prevention Committee for selecting today's fire prevention winner. This trophy will be proudly displayed at the level of volunteer fire company, and Vice President Rhonda Hinch will receive a separate plaque to keep in her home as a special remembrance of this morning's prestigious award. I hope your fire department can find the effort and the time to submit their nomination to next year's convention. It's with excitement as we look forward to honoring our future winners. Thank you all very much for your kind attention this morning. Have a great convention, and let's have some innovative contributions to fire prevention programs in 2025. Thank you.
For what?
It's election judgment. Results of the election.
It's my pleasure to announce that Rick Hemphill will be our next speaker.
There you go. Okay, we're good. That's perfect. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. President. The report of the election judges for 2025. There were a total of 349 companies in good standing as reported by the Secretary. The Credential Committee reported that 242 of those companies in good standing are registered here at the convention. There were a total of 21 past presidents registered at the convention. The following officers were unopposed and elected by a single ballot cast by the office of the Secretary, with the exception of the election of the office of Secretary, and the ballot for that office was cast by the President. President Charles J. Simpson, Jr., First Vice President William Faust, Second Vice President Lee A. Lutz, Secretary Doyle Cox, Chief Chaplain John Long, Jr., and Trustee Thomas A. Mattingly, Jr. Thank you.
Chaplain Man will now give us the benediction.
There you go. Get an applause for the chaplain. John Long wanted to pass along an announcement too. Prayer breakfast tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, 138th Street, the Elks Lodge. He did want to announce it's a pretty amazing keynote speaker tomorrow. So I'd like to end today with the awards with a prayer. Let us pray. Oh Lord, we lift you in praise, and we thank you for your gracious blessings today at our convention. Lord, you've guided us, and we take honor in those awards that were given to the recipients today. It is truly your grace that has placed upon those award recipients today. Oh God, as we depart, now keep us safe in travel. Return us tomorrow safely for the completion of this year's convention. And we pray these in your name. Amen.
Okay, I declare the third session of the 133rd Annual Convention of the American State Firemen's Association closed. We will recess until 0900 tomorrow morning.